topic 4, as always, brought to you by you. You can go to kindoffunny.com/Gamescast topic and leave a topic just like all these big, beautiful kids do.
Hey.
And I'll read it on the show. And I was going to give a shout out to Steven Insler again.
Go ahead. Feel it.
You know what, Steven Insler? You deserved it. The show
Patreon
is
producer.
yours. The show is yours.
Steven Insler.
Pierre Conrad.
Good name.
At Pi Blacon on Twitter.
Oh, okay. I know that name.
Says,
what the fuck?
oh God, is Nick joining us?
Just wanted everyone to know that all your opinions are terrible. That I'm always right about everything, and
Oh, you're just filling in for Colin. Okay.
I can't actually hear what you're saying through all the stupidity that's coming out of your mouth. I have to go to Vegas. Excuse me.
Damn.
Colin is out.
That last part really
Nailed
really
it. Colin was out. Colin says that Colin was out all the time.
What is the story that you want the full scoop on? The Uncharted 4 dev shuffle?
Just stop. Yes, don't stop. Because then you're gonna steal what I'm gonna say.
Gotcha.
I don't want it to.
Gotcha.
I mean, immediately I jumped to Kojima Konami.
Mm-hmm.
I figured it's on the list, but it's one of those that's like the most recent thing where it's like I would love to know what really really happened over there, and I don't know how long it'll take for that to get out, if it'll ever get out, and that's always the thing I hate when you're not sure if it'll ever happen. You know, because it's just so much strife over there. And did they cut Act 3 because of, you know what I mean, the final part of Metal Gear, that chapter or whatever? Did they cut it because of time? Did they cut it because of this? You know, when did it get so bad over there? What were Konami's motivations internally as a board? You know what I mean? Like, was it everyone was done with him? Was it one person? Was it the president or CEO that was like, this, he's too big for his britches and da 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 da? Like, and then on top of that, you know, what was it like for Kojima? What was it like for his team to be working under these circumstances where, you know, you assume you're fighting all the time and this is going on and you want to get your message out, but you can't, or you know, I'd love someone to write a book about that one day and actually know exactly what was happening and what was going through their heads and what they thought when it started to leak and everything.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm right there with you. I am most interested about how it would have changed the game. Like, I really want to know, like, what Metal Gear Solid 5 would have been had Kojima still been with Konami at this point. Would it have been much different? Is there an Act 3? Like, would the game have just, like, told a different story overall? Because, I mean, there's a lot of things that kind of mirror the real life with all of the Metal Gear games when it comes to Kojima, but I think that this one definitely could have veered in a different direction, and I'd love to know what that is.
Sure.
Uncharted, I think, is the other.
The call out, for Naughty Dog with Amy and everything else there, that would be fascinating to know in terms of an on the record, here's both sides, what went down in terms of, and that one even more I'm interested because I'd love to know what Amy's Uncharted 4 looked like and what her story was, and then, you know, what, you know, Todd Stashwick was going to be the villain or whatever. He left the project with her. Alan talked about it. Alan Trudeck or whatever, the guy from Firefly, red hair, the pirate from that Sandra Bullock movie. That's how I remember him. He was part of it. He made that joke or whatever, like, "Oh, we all abandoned you, Nolan. Sorry." Like, I'd love to know. Like, he made it sound like, like they fired Amy, and everybody's like, "Well, fuck this, we're gone." It's like, you know what I mean? Like, what was that story? What was that thing? What was it like leaving? You know, how does everybody feel about that? And that's the thing about, like, the Naughty Dog shuffle there, as you call it or whatever. I'm going to be fascinated to see how long it takes for that to be mended. Because that, I mean, like, Kojima and Konami, I feel like that's lifetime. We're done. You know, somebody there was like, fuck you, and he was like, fuck you guys or whatever, and da da da. I really feel like the Naughty Dog thing, you talk about a team that's so powerful and so strong and so great at their job. That must have been like a bad breakup for them, and like, because there's so much love there and something went wrong clearly, and this is how it went. And then of course the news and how it got delivered and everything else made it so much worse and kicked up all this shit. And you know, when we were leaving IGN, you know, I remember Fran being like, it'll, you know, like, oh yeah, we'll come back and do stuff. He's like, it'll be a while. Like, everybody's, you know, like, I didn't understand it. And then we left, and it was, I had those breakup feelings, right? Where it was like, you see, you know, your ex moving on and doing other stuff. And then, you know, I talked about it on Beyond or whatever, Beyond 450, Colin and I just did, where I'd say something innocent, or Max would say something innocent, and then somebody would twist it around, and Brian would put up a Facebook post, and you have to call and like, this isn't what it was supposed to be. Nobody meant to hurt each other's feelings, but you did because those emotions were so raw. And now we're to that point where now it's fine. Now everything's totally chill, and I don't care. You know what I mean? We hang out all the time and we do content for IGN with IGN.
I still don't like Sean Finnegan.
Nobody likes Sean Finnegan. He hikes too much, but. That's going to happen with Naughty Dog at some point, and that'll be fascinating to see. First off, that photo of them together, and then they're sitting on an awesome panel, an awesome interview, an awesome whatever you want to call of like what happened and what that was and where they didn't see eye to eye and how everything got out of control.
Yeah.
But one day that'll be mended. Like that, I assure you will be mended.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Where you going? He's like, I don't want to hear any more about Naughty Dog stories.
Last Guardian is the other thing here.
Yeah.
I feel like that story, it wouldn't be that interesting. I think,
it would be because I'd love to be in those meetings where Shu's like, give us the fucking game. Or did that never happen? Was it always keep going? Everything's fine. You know what I mean? Like, where did everything happen? Branching out from that, I'd love, the course correction of the Xbox One. You know what I mean? We are for that. I'd love to know their E3 conference, what's happening on Sony's side. This could be like the next Console Wars book from Blake Harris or whatever. Not that it would be like that exciting
It's
in terms
different.
But what Sony thought of the Xbox conference, what Xbox then thought watching the Sony conference, especially when they start coming at them with like price point, here's how you share your games, and then the complete change, right, of Don Matrick falling on a sword, getting out of there, Phil coming in, like we have to change all of this and flip that. Like, I'd love to know that inside Xbox story, a no holds barred story of like, here it is. This is where we thought we were, what we were doing, and how quickly that changed, and how there has to be a meeting, right, where somebody in a leadership position is like, we're fucked.
Yeah.
Back to the drawing board and everything. And I know that we just had E3 and we just talked about all these programs. Fix it.
Yeah. I want to know the similar story for Nintendo on like where it went wrong, and I don't know exactly the time frame of it, of what would be most interesting. And I actually think we might be in it now. The story might not even be fully finished yet.
Sure.
Because until we know what NX actually is, I'm not sure that we'll know all of that, because the Wii U obviously was a failure for all intents and purposes when you compare it to the Wii, or even like all the others.
Even removing
consoles.
Wii,
yeah. So it's like for them to come out with the Wii U and everyone be so confused about what it is and why it exists, and it kind of being a weird, not as good as the other consoles thing, and just all that shit. It's like, I want to know why.
If you want to, for me, honestly, and this is just, an industry professional, I guess, whatever you want to call me. Like, I feel when Nintendo got off track and started really fucking themselves is when the Wii got too popular. The Wii, I always talk about this, when they announced the Wii, they showed the thing, they talked about the virtual console. I was like, fuck yeah, that was the only from that generation of Xbox 360, PS3, and that one. That's the only system I bought at launch. And it was because I had Wi-Fi, but I just gotten Wi-Fi. I just gotten internet in my house, like broadband internet in my apartment. I didn't have an HD TV. So they were like, we're putting out this system. It's going to have a Zelda. It's going to be this new controller. You flip it sideways and you're playing classic NES games. I was like, this sounds like a system built for dorks like me. This sounds awesome. And if I want to go play, the other games, I put in the nunchuck and there I go. I'm playing like I have a controller and it's different. It's cool. It's something different. And then that Thanksgiving where everyone took that thing home and was like, every grandmother, my mom, her husband, everybody flipped out for it and bought those. And then we always talk about the terrible attach rate. They bought that and they didn't buy games. And then it was everyone's playing Wii Sports. Everybody make mini game compilations. Get another Wii game out and put it with a Wiimote and da-da-da-da. And it was like, as soon as that happened, it was like that was it for games with them. Like that was where it got off track, where it was like, I was working at IGN at that time, and like when Mad World was coming, we were all like, oh, fucking thank Christ, a real game, a game we want to play, a game that is in line with what gamers would want. But that system got so popular that nobody was trying to make games for gamers on it. And I say nobody. Of course, Mario Galaxy 1 and 2 are amazing. Of course, Mad World had its moments. I liked Mario Paper RPG.
But still was all right.
Zack and Wiki wasn't great. But it was, again, like, I remember working there, like Matt and Bozon, like, fucking being so high on Zack and Wiki because they finally had a fucking game, you know what I mean? And that was, I think you look at the Wii life cycle, the Wii timeline, that was one of those games that was probably in production before everyone realized that Ubisoft was making gajillions on Rabbids. You know what I mean? You put out these minigame compilations, you put out these different things, and it
Link's
was
crossbow training. You know, it was gimmicks. It was just gimmick, and like who can create the most unique, fun, cheap experience.
And we always talk about, we talk about all the time with like when you track Nintendo consoles in decline, right? It's like, N64 and it's GameCube and then it's Wii. And if you remove Wii and you just look at then Wii U, you see it's the exact same thing. There was an anomaly, and I really think Nintendo looked at it and was like, we can do it again.
Yeah.
Put out a simplified tablet, keep the Wii brand, thinking that was important.
Yeah. I mean, it was such a mistake. It really is like a one-hit wonder pop star.
Yeah.
They come out with a song. They don't have an album.
Yeah.
They don't have any of the games to back it up there, And then they're like, all right, let's do it again.
Yeah.
And then it falls flat, and it's just like, there
exactly.
you go.
And then you look at it now, and that's the thing. There are no, like we always talk about it, mid-tier developers faded away. Ubisoft reined it back in. Like there is no more market out there for people to come out and say, here's my minigame compilation. Not to mention, my mom still has the Wii under her TV. God only knows when she turns it on. Like I think once in a while at a barbecue or something, they'll bowl. But it's like I always think about it like for so many people who bought the Wii, they bought it and it was very much like those, like when you buy the one game controller that has the one game on it that you plug into your TV through the composite cables, and that's all it's just Galaga, and that's all because it's all you wanted. And so many people bought it just wanting that, and it was crazy.
Yeah, it's just like specifically thinking about E3s and thinking back to how amazing Nintendo's E3s used to be and how they were like they fucking killed it from 2002 to 2006. Every year they'd come out with surprises and like lineups that were like legendary for the time.
Yeah.
Like, and coming out and talking about Metroid Prime, it's like, get the fuck out of here. This looks amazing and crazy.
Yeah.
Wind Waker, all this shit. And when they first showed Twilight Princess, that's what everybody wanted, And then it's kept going. In 2008, when they did the Wii Music showing, that was the beginning of the end of Nintendo's conferences being a joke.
Yeah.
Like being super bad. And that was, I'd say, right when Microsoft and Sony were still having shitty conferences, but they at least weren't that bad. It wasn't like the joke of the show.
Yeah.
And then it wasn't until a couple years later, like 2012, that Sony and Microsoft got good, specifically Microsoft. And they kept going.
Get good, son.
But then Sony's like, oh shit, we got to step our game up. But now Sony's just top of the game with all that stuff.
Right.
And it's like to imagine if Nintendo had just like not been like, well,
stayed the course.
We're number one. We got that hit single, and been more like, all right, we got a fucking like HD console, whatever. I don't even know if that is the right answer though. That's the other thing.
I mean, it's a great question. I think that they've burned so much goodwill with gamers where I do feel like they're in a really tough situation of making, like that's why I was talking about, like I want the NX to be the console and the handheld because like that's exciting. Like, you know what I mean? That's what I wish I had now. I love my Vita, don't get me wrong, but I wish it was, I'm playing my PS4 game and now, so through magic, I'm playing it on the plane as well. And I know impossible, this, that, and the other, but if Nintendo could do it by saying we're not competing, we're not trying to get out there and be HD 60 frames a second, so on and so forth. If you just go and you're making this thing, because I still stand by my statement that I always make that Nintendo makes toys. And I don't mean that as an insult. I think they make really great toys, really fun toys. Their games are great when you play their games, right? But I think they need to get back to, they went so far off with the toy business. Now they need to bring it back to make it a game business again, and be that we're here for gamers and we have the franchises you love and we've listened to your feedback and what you want and you like the mobile stuff. So here's a system that is mobile but isn't. Yeah.
I mean, honestly, to really talk about like what story do I want the story of why they called it the Wii U. I think that's it. Like why that was this. I know the answer is because the Wii was successful, but it's like, I think that really was the business decision that really fucked them. Like, because deciding that is like, all right, we're making a sequel to the Wii, not a new Nintendo console.
Sure.
All right. Next question comes from your boy Sean Pitts.
It's your boy Sean Pitts, IGN Zone.
Yeah, IGN's Sean from IGN. You guys excited for the Warriors port coming out on PS4? What PS2 games should be next?
No.
Did you like Warriors?
No, I never even played it.
You never played it?
No, never played Warriors.
That was a nice rental for me. That was back in the day when those games, there was that, and what was the other Rockstar game?
State of
Emergency.
Never forget.
Oh my God.
Never let them forget.
Which was such a fun rental. That is it.
Like, here's a demo. Just go. You're like, all I'm doing is running around this mall hacking people with an axe. What the hell's going on?
The Warriors definitely had a lot more going for it, but it always hit me in the same way as State of Emergency, where it's just like, cool. Definitely don't care about playing it on PS4.
Sure.
There's a ton of PS2 games that I would love to come out.
What
PS4.
are they, though? That's my whole thing is I feel like they've done so well at making the ones I'd want, where it is all the GTAs are there, Bully's there. Like the Rockstar ones were such a big deal to me. But then it's like, I don't want to go back and play the wrestling games that I love, so you don't need to do that. And then I'm trying to think of games that I mean, like Smuggler's Run was fun. I always joke around about it. It was a great launch game. I don't need Smuggler's Run to be a PS2 classic.
I want to replay Onimusha 3 so bad. The
yeah,
whole
you do love
Onimusha series, but
Onimusha,
specifically 3. And I never played Dawn of Dreams, the fourth game that was kind of, I think it's called Dawn of Dreams. So I'd love for those to come out. And,
Is Sands of Time on there yet?
Sands of Time it's on PS3.
Yeah, I know it's on PS3 as the re-release, whatever the hell it is. But I'm saying
Sands of Time is a PS3 game, I guess you're right, it's PS2, but then they did the HD remaster.
Right, there was a digital version you could download on PS3. Yeah.
And there's physical too as well.
Okay,
so
but I'm just saying PS4.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of PS2 games. I'm hurting
there's
for.
so much. PS4 is lacking so much when it comes to back catalog stuff. They have like no PS1 classics at all.
Yeah. Like, no shop. PS2.
Downhill Domination is a game that I had so much fun with, and I'd love to just go back and play more. And I think it would hold up for sure. Still, things like SSX Tricky, a lot of like the extreme sports games I think are fun. And
I jump again to like, man, I would love the Crazy Taxi I played on PS2, but you can't have the album, so it's gonna be garbage. Like so the fucking downloadable one they put out
is definitely an issue.
I just thought maybe we should do Crazy Taxi for Let's Play Live.
That's a good ass
Crazy
idea.
Taxi PS2.
My first PS2 game, Crazy Taxi.
Oh yeah, I'll never forget. Like we were playing that PS2 Crazy Taxi because the Crazy Taxi story goes, of course, that I used to after school in high school go across the street to Target and we're waiting for my mom to pick me up, and I would just play the demo Dreamcast Crazy Taxi. And one day I remember talking to my friend Mike, and I'm like, I think I'm gonna buy a Dreamcast, and he's like, dude, don't. Like the PS2's out in whatever it was 6 months, 9 months at the time. He's like, don't worry about it, because he knew how much I hated Sega after the Saturn or whatever.
Yeah.
But then when we got Crazy Taxi on PS2 and we're playing in the basement and we were passing the controller back and forth trying to get the best times, and when we discovered we could boost the entire time, like it was herky and jerky, but we were killing times in the first S rank somebody got.
Oh yeah,
like, it goes higher than
it's higher than an A.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
I loved the mini games in the PS2 version, like the bowling and the big ass the jump that you do. God, that shit was so much fun. Shout out to Kinetica. I'd love to play Kinetica again. There's a whole Amplitude. Good Lord. Oh man. I would love if the original Amplitude was brought to PS4 so I could play it again. But the licensing would
that's what kills all these games.
Ever allow that. I'm sure I'm missing a whole bunch of shit. But yeah. There you go.
That's the weird thing where I feel like the PS2 had a great library, but then I sit back and I think about
NBA Street Volume 2.
I sit back and I think about games I actually want on it. I'm like, I don't know. Feel like we got the big ones that I care about.
See, I guess most of the games I'm talking about, they're the ones that are just fun. Like those are the games that don't degrade over time, right? Because it's not about the story or the graphics or whatever. It's just the gameplay is good, and fun, just competitive shit. Steven Oslin says, what genres do you think will make good augmented reality games? And what challenges do you think developers will face? We were talking about this earlier, but like the Animal Crossings and the Tamagotchi, Pokemon-esque things, I think are kind of.
I feel like for augmented reality to work, honestly, it has to be what we're talking about with VR, where it's built from the ground up and it's an experience. Like, I guess, like, if like maybe you could put down like slot car racing, kart racing things but it's like.
Is that augmented reality or is that just more?
Augmented reality is the mix, is like Pokemon where it's in you. So I'm saying like we would put down. All right, everybody. We'd put down your QR reader card, and then because that's how I'm imagining work. If you want to use your phone, fine, but you'd see the track that way, and you're driving your car this way.
Yeah,
does that make sense? I still don't feel like you understand what I'm saying.
So I know I get it. So it's augmented. I thought you were talking about more like the bullshit we did at IGN.
Oh no, not Anki Racer, where we have real cars.
Like,
Anki.
Yeah, you're using your phone to control the cars. It's like I don't know if that's augmented reality. Okay, so you're talking about like actually seeing the little toy
exactly.
car
That's how you stand back and there's a track laid out on this thing that isn't here in real life, that we have our own cars.
Gotcha.
But I mean, like that's the whole thing is like we've seen it work. Like Eye of Judgment. Like Eye of Judgment was an AR game on PlayStation, right? And it was like PlayStation 2 or 3, sorry. And it was like, all right, cool, but like I could just play a card game if I really wanted to. I understand there's like fireball effects
Magic
or whatever.
Or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
Sorcery. What was it?
Oh shit. I have the platinum in it.
Was it Sorcery?
Wonderbook.
Fuck that.
Yeah.
Now, speaking of the
2-hour
card games,
platinum though.
Yu-Gi-Oh! If you motherfuckers figure out Yu-Gi-Oh! No, I don't know, Greg. You don't know Yu-Gi-Oh! Don't care about Yu-Gi-Oh!
I don't. It's, what don't I'm
Yu-Gi-Oh!
not,
is
I'm not
the-
going to yell at you about it.
No, you're not gonna yell.
Don't, you're in a safe spot. Colin's not
I'm
here.
just
I'm not
letting
going
you
to tackle you.
So Yu-Gi-Oh! Like Pokemon, a bunch of monsters and stuff, but it is totally just a card game.
Yeah.
So in the show, they would use the cards and then put down the cards and then things are. It is augmented reality. So if those motherfuckers figure that out, give me one of the little arm bracelet things, then we good.
That's the whole thing. Is augmented reality doesn't do it for me. Like I know a lot of people are more excited for augmented reality than VR, but I think they're excited for it in your everyday functionality. Whereas like augmented reality, like if we're counting Google Glass and it's showing and mapping out, like not on the road or whatever, but like directions, that's totally cool.
Yeah.
But in terms of a gaming thing, like I'm just not into like even when
Seeing little dumbass things happen.
I mean, PSP had Invisimals, right? And
Yeah.
I tried to, I don't know if I reviewed it or if I just fucked around with it, but it was like, fine, whatever. You know what I mean? Like, this isn't really one, but I mean, that's augmented reality and the way it's been used so far, it's getting shoehorned in as a gimmick. And so, like, if you're going to make it real, you're going to make HoloLens matter, you're going to have to go in there and build from the ground up.
Yeah. Let's see. We'll take a couple more. Brandon Williams says, why are there so many high-profile games this fall? It just seems like there's more than usual. Am I overreacting, or do you agree?
I feel like there's less.
Yeah, I feel it's about average.
It's normal, if not, because what I'm thinking of: Gears, Titanfall, Last Guardian, Battlefield. Did I say Call of Duty? Is Call of Duty that?
Yeah, I mean, all this. It's the
matter. Like it's gonna be
we
everything
don't have
you
an
expect.
Assassin's Creed. A couple
Yeah.
of the big new ones got bumped.
Sony
but-
doesn't have a big. I mean, they have a Gran Turismo, Last Guardian, but I mean, they don't have like an Uncharted, a Kratos, one of those kind
No
of
Man's
games
Sky.
there. Yeah, okay.
I mean,
It's gonna be
its
fun, but it's coming out this month, right? So it's already jigs
August next
up.
month.
When is this posting?
July?
I thought this was the Gamescast for August 1st.
No, definitely.
Oh, weird.
Absolutely.
I thought we were
not.
filming them out of order.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think that it's about the same. You know, games have been doing this for a very long time.
Sure.
So now the year.
I
is
feel
a
like the
little bit
first
more
half.
fleshed out.
I feel like the first half of next year is
there's a whole
stacked.
bunch.
Yeah.
But I think the last half of this year is about par for the course.
Yeah.
A lot less Nintendo games than normal. Actually,
No,
that's not
been
true.
the new normal. You're thinking when you were a child.
You're right. All right, final question. Sam Jones says,
Sam Jones?
do you guys at Kind of Funny eat ass or what?
Whoa.
Yes. Yes.
Whoa.
It's 2016. Grow the fuck up.
Whoa.
Like groceries. The rappers told me to do it.
Jesus
I
Christ.
had no choice.
I would not have pulled this question for this show.
Ladies and gentlemen, this show's brought to you by Casper. Casper is a
Oh,
sleep
and are they
brand.
happy they sponsored this one?
Oh, yeah.
Roll from the ass-eating question into the mattress
No,
roll.
no. Casper is a sleep brand that creates one perfect mattress sold directly, like a Nintendo, to consumers, eliminating commission-driven inflated prices. Its award-winning sleep surface was developed in-house. Award-winning sleep surface.
Yeah.
I like that.
It's got two types of technology, you know, two types of foam.
Its one was developed in-house, has a sleek design, and is delivered in a small, how do they do that, sized box. In addition to the mattress, Casper also offers an adaptive pillow and soft, breathable sheets. Mattresses can often cost well over $1,500, but Casper's like, nah, bruh. $500 for a twin-size mattress, $600 for twin XL, $750 for a full, $850 for queen, and $950. One of them, they're kings. The Casper is an obsessively engineered mattress at a shockingly fair price. It combines springy latex and supportive memory foams to create an award-winning sleep surface with just the right sink and just the right bounce. Kevin, I know how much you like to bounce. This might be the one for you.
Bounce.
Time magazine named it one of the best inventions of 2015. In fact, it's now the most awarded mattress of the decade. Take that, all you other mattresses.
Suck it. Tempur-Pedic.
Free shipping and returns to the U.S. and Canada. Try Casper for 100 nights risk-free in your own home. If you don't love it, they'll pick it up and refund you everything. Made in America. So you know Colin's proud.
USA.
Get $50 towards any mattress by purchasing and visiting casper.com/KFGames and using offer code KFGames.
You have to say it, though,
apply.
or you type it like he's saying.
Yes. So again, www.casper.com/KFGames. Use our code KFGames. Until next time, I love you, I love your body, and I love everything you represent in life. Unless you're a racist.
Whoa, yeah, no, fuck you if that's you.